What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, it seems as undefeated 3-division world champion, who is currently the WBO welterweight world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford. Well, he seems to be on the verge of facing, dare I say, journeyman in the sport of boxing, Josesito Lopez. Josesito Lopez is 38 wins, 8 losses, 21 wins by way of knockout. He was knocked out 3 times in his career already. You know, Josesito Lopez is 36 years of age. Josesito Lopez stands at 5'9.5" with a 69-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was December 5th. When he took on Francisco Santana. He got a TKO victory. With that said, it seems like Terence Crawford could possibly be facing Josesito Lopez in his next fight. Now, many fans, they want to see him fight 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter in his next fight. But as Terence Crawford, he let it be known that to Shawn Porter, when Shawn Porter says that he wants to give the fans what they're looking for. He wants to feed the fans. He wants the fans to, get their money's worth. The best got to fight the best. And Terence Crawford, he responded by saying, you stay on standby. Just stand by the phone and, be patient because you're starting to test me now. That's what Terence Crawford stated. Shawn Porter, he responded that, okay, I'll be ready in May. There's a lot of reports that Terence Crawford, he could grace the square circle May 29th or the first weekend in June. With that said, Terence Crawford, 37 wins, no losses, 28 wins by way of knockout. He's 33 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was November 14th when he knocked out former IBF welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer Special K. Kell Brook in dramatic fashion. With that said, the fans, they want to see Terence Crawford in the ring with the absolute best. Heavy is the head that bears the crown. Terence Crawford is considered, like I said, by many to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And if that's the mantra that he's going to carry, then you want to see him in the ring with the absolute best. We don't want to see him in the ring with Josesito Lopez. You want to see him in the ring with the absolute best. Showtime Shawn Porter, okay? So with that said, this is Terence Crawford's #1 objective was to get legendary 8-division world champion, Filipino iconic superstar boxer Manny Pacquiao in the ring. But it seems like Manny Pacquiao, he's going the route of facing former 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia in his next outing. So now Terence Crawford, according to Bob Arum, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO who promotes Terence Crawford, Bob Arum, he stated that Terence Crawford, #1 objective, their #1 goal was and plan was to get Manny Pacquiao in the ring. And if they couldn't secure a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, well, then they would be going the route of facing WBO #1 mandatory challenger, Showtime Shawn Porter, in the next fight. Now, with that said, Shawn Porter, he can, activate his mandatory position, and then that would put his promoter, his advisor, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions founder and advisor Al Heyman, on the hook to be accountable for the purses, because we know Bob Arum, he already stated that if it does go to a purse bid, he would allow Al Heyman and the PBC to win the purse bid, thus holding them accountable for the purses for this fight. With that said, I don't know if Bob Arum is willing to do so now after one of his stars under his banner in undefeated, unified, lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez. He allowed the same thing to happen, and he uttered the same sentiments that he would allow Teofimo Lopez to go to his mandatory purse bid with IBF mandatory undefeated challenger and Australian superstar boxer George Kambosos Jr. Well, that didn't work out too well for Bob Arum, Top Rank, and the network which they showcased their fights on ESPN. As we saw, it went to a purse bid, and Top Rank, they bid 2.3, but then you had Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn come in and offer 3.2, and then you had the big one, Triller, come in and offer a whopping $6 million for the fight to be on and staged on their platform and their network of Triller. So with that said, Bob Arum, he was not happy. He felt as if George Kambosos Jr., Teofimo Lopez colluded, allegedly, to get the highest purse bid and to work in the behind the scenes, to negotiate, thus leaving Top Rank, rendering them helpless. Okay, so with that said, they didn't see that coming. So one has to wonder: is Bob Arum willing to take the risk with Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter fight? Because this is a much bigger fight than George Kambosos Jr. and Teofimo Lopez. So I'm almost certain that Triller, they came in also and they just offered up a fight for Regis Prograis, former IBF junior welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is going to fight Ivan Redcash on Triller as well. And they just offered, Regis the Rougarou Prograis big money to showcase his talents on their platform as well. So you have to take into consideration, one has to wonder, if you have Terence Crawford on the market and available and Shawn Porter available, Triller might just swoop in and pick up this fight. And seeing as though Al Heyman, he's just an advisor, he's not a promoter. Now he does have networks in Fox and Showtime in which he does business with. But if Triller comes in and they offer big money, I'm sure he's going to advise Shawn Porter to go get his money. And the fight would take place. And I'm sure Mike Tyson, former undisputed heavyweight world champion, superstar, iconic boxer, who showcases exhibitions on Triller and possibly showcasing a trilogy match with Evander Holyfield on Triller. Well, Mike Tyson, I'm sure he has a lot to say when it comes to with these fights. I'm sure that they, seek out Mike Tyson's advice, and Mike Tyson is telling them, go get these fights. So imagine if you have a fight of the magnitude of Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter available. I'm sure if Triller offers $6 million for George Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez, and looking to pay big money for Regis Prograis to fight Ivan Redcash, then I'm almost certain they're willing to put up massive money for Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. Is that a risk Bob Arum is willing to take? I don't believe so at this point in time, because he can't take that. He can't take that chance. Okay, so if you have Terence Crawford available, I'm sure Bob Arum would work out this negotiation. So maybe Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter, maybe they need to come to some sort of agreement and say, listen, let's allow this fight to go to purse bid and see what comes up. See if we could get the highest bidder. Now, they run the risk of not getting a high bidder, but you got to understand, for a fight of this magnitude, there's no way they don't swoop in and people and networks and promoters and, they don't swoop in and try to pick up this fight, because it's a huge fight. It's the biggest fight in Terence Crawford's career. Not so much Shawn Porter. It's a big fight for him, though. It's a legacy fight for both guys. And it has a lot of, it's a world championship on the line. It's meaningful. You understand? Regis Prograis and Ivan Redcash, no, you have two names. It's going to be action-packed. Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be the overwhelming odds-on favorite to beat George Kambosos Jr. Yes, he's a champion, but he's going to be a massive favorite. Here you have Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. It may be 60-40. It could be 50-50, nobody knows. Obviously, Terence Crawford will open up as the favorite, seeing as though he's undefeated and seeing as though Shawn Porter has lost 3 times in his career. But you never know. It's a very competitive fight. I would favor myself Shawn Porter, but you never know how this is going to play out. So the fact that Bob Arum is and Terence Crawford is even willing, Bob Arum is offering up Josesito Lopez, and Terence Crawford is open to facing Josesito Lopez, speaks volumes, because Terence Crawford is 33 years of age. He'll be 34 in September, and he hasn't had a huge legacy, lucrative fight yet to date. So when you have Shawn Porter available to you, and this is your last fight, essentially, with top rankers, Terence Crawford is a free agent in October. So imagine if Terence Crawford doesn't push to fight Shawn Porter well, that's going to speak volumes. People are going to feel like he truly don't want these big fights, or he's just trying to preserve himself until he lands the massive super fight with undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl of Truth Spence Jr. But for Terence Crawford to be in agreement to fight Josesito Lopez at this stage in his career, well, that's going to not sit well with his fans. Like I said, Josesito Lopez, you know, he's an older guy. He's lost multiple times 8 times in his career already. You know, he's not an A-level fighter. At this point in time, he has 8 losses. He was knocked out 3 times. He did put up a valiant effort against former unified WBC, WBA welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. But you got to understand, Keith Thurman was coming off a very long layoff, and that was his first fight back. Josesito Lopez, you know, he's with Robert Garcia. You know, he put up a great resistance in the fight. He hurt Keith Thurman, looked like he could possibly stop Keith Thurman a few times. But for the most part, he wasn't a favorite to win that fight. You know, you didn't truly expect him. It was a surprise. It would have been a massive upset. You know, so Josesito Lopez, no slight to him, but he just don't represent what Terence Crawford should be dealing with moving forward. And I'm hard-pressed to see the fans, boxing pundits, and media accepting this fight. I think Terence Crawford is doing himself a disservice. I think he should be pushing for the Shawn Porter fight, not Shawn Porter pushing for the Terence Crawford fight. Because Shawn Porter, in his career, he has legacy fights. Win, lose, or draw. He has legacy fights. Terence Crawford don't. I know a lot of people will tell you that Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter's father, trainer, and manager, and Al Heyman, they need to be putting their best foot forward to make the fight with Terence Crawford. No. Terence Crawford needs to be putting his foot forward because he's running out of time more so. Yes, Shawn Porter's 33, but Shawn Porter fought Errol Spence. Shawn Porter fought Keith Thurman. Shawn Porter fought Danny Garcia. Shawn Porter fought Andre Berto. Shawn Porter fought Adrian Broner. Shawn Porter fought Devin Alexander. Shawn Porter fought all of these guys, Paulie Malignaggi. Win, lose, or draw. He's been in big fights, big lucrative paydays. Terence Crawford has yet to do so. This is his opportunity. Terence Crawford needs to put his best foot forward and demand that his promoters and his team do the necessary due diligence to make sure he secures legacy, big, lucrative fights. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.